So let's talk about, first of all, the context. What's happening? This is Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhuma, one of the young companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and one of the ones known for his high level of intelligence as well. And he is riding with the Prophet ﷺ. So it's just the two of them. Of course, other people, maybe they are around, but it's a moment when it's just him with the Prophet ﷺ. It's like an intimate, private moment. So the Prophet ﷺ has chosen to give some specific advice to Abdullah ibn Abbas. And as far as we know, I don't know that this was narrated through someone else. This was him only. In other words, it was a special thing for him. So as a young boy getting attention from someone whom he loves, he looks up to an elder that he respects, and of course the Prophet ﷺ, he remembers this clearly. So this is of course a pivotal moment in his life. So the Prophet ﷺ just decided, I'm going to give you some advice. And all of us that are older and we see someone younger whom we love or we wish good for, we usually just love to give them something of benefit. So this is the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the elder of all of us, the most knowledgeable, the most wise person sent to us, is giving to him some specific advice. So it's an amazing situation. So he starts off by saying, be watchful of Allah, He will preserve you. So, and the expanded meaning of this, be watchful of the commandments of Allah. Meaning, whatever Allah has commanded, pay attention to it, observe it, be careful with it. This will cause Allah, He will then preserve you through that. In other words, obeying Allah in what He has commanded, whether it is a prohibition or a command to perform, is the means through which Allah will preserve you. It doesn't mean Allah needs this to happen for that to happen. No, Allah has given us these commandments as a means to preserve us. In other words, this is the way to stay safe. This is the way to be protected. Follow my commandments. And what are the commandments of Allah? Of course, there's all the ibadah. There's all the things that we're supposed to do. But then there's the things that, enjoying the ties of kinship. Everyone benefits from having good family ties. There is, avoiding all the harmful things. Alcohol, pork, gambling, zina, lying, cheating. All of these things have harmful effects for the person and for other people in society in general. And so on. So in other words, if you want to be safe, he's saying, follow the commandments of Allah. Allah will keep you safe through those. Those will keep you safe. Then he said, safeguard His rights. So safeguard the rights of Allah. Allah has rights upon us. That we should not worship other than Him, that we should obey Him, that we should follow His commandments, and so on. Safeguard His rights, He will be ever with you. So if you are ever feeling like you are needing Allah's presence and you're not feeling what you want to feel from Allah's presence, ask yourself, have I safeguarded Allah's rights? Have I kept with His rights? The way to have Allah be with us more in perpetuity, eternally, is by safeguarding His rights. So we have to know what are the rights of Allah. Of course, Allah has outlined that throughout the Quran and Sunnah, and it's too much to go into here, but whatever Allah has ordered us to do, basically, in obeying His commandments, which really ties back to the same thing, then, so in other words, the Prophet ﷺ is emphasizing once again, obey Allah basically. Follow what Allah has commanded you. Keep His rights, He will keep you safe as well. If you beg, the third point, if you beg of Him alone. That is to say, if you are in a desperate need such that you are about to ask other people in desperation, sometimes maybe even in a humiliating way, rather than asking other people, ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And if you need some assistance, the lesser degree, if you need some assistance, then supplicate to Allah alone for help. So he's saying, in these two things that are very interesting, which is, one is begging and one is asking for assistance. Begging is like when I am at my end, no other choice, I'm forced to ask Allah. But then even if it's something you just need help with, make dua to Allah. So, in other words, just like the first one was two aspects of the same thing. One was, watch for Allah's commandments, He will preserve you, safeguards His rights, He'll be with you. So in other words, in two ways, the same kind of idea. So it's like a double emphasis. And then then the same thing with asking. One is begging, like, please give, ask from Allah, Allah will give. And the other is, if you need help with something, also ask Allah. And continuing on from there. So basically, the first half of this hadith is speaking about Allah and His slave. It's the Prophet Muhammad says, I'm talking about to Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma and Allah. Now he's saying, and remember that if all the people gather to benefit you, they will not be able to benefit from you except that what Allah has already foreordained for you. So now, okay, we just got through saying, just rely on Allah. But even if the people, just so you know, in case you're still not convinced, if all the people around the world, how many, 8 billion now? If all 8 billion people in the world were to gather to do something to benefit you, hey, we're going to go give you, all the money, make you the king, none of that would come to fruition except that Allah already set that in motion in His qadr. Allah's decree is not going to change because of what all of the people were to do. That is to say, why are you going to ask the people? I already decreed for you what's going to happen. They're not going to change it. All the people around the world cannot change what I'm going to decree, so why bother with them? Ask from me. And in the same way, and if they were all together to harm you, they will not be able to afflict you with anything except that Allah had predestined against you. He's not saying they won't be able to do anything. He's saying nothing they do is outside of what I was already had planned for you in the first place. So them or not them, it was going to happen. Whether they planned to or not planned to, whether they plotted, they didn't plot, nothing's going to happen except what I already had commanded for you, what I had already ordained for you. And he concludes with everything that matters, the pens have been lifted and the ink has dried up. That is to say, the pen, this is the pen, the al-qalam, the first object that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, has finished writing all that will happen until the Day of Judgment. So nothing that the people can do is going to go outside of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already commanded. So the point is, this is showing us the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How our status should be, we should be asking from Him, and don't bother with seeking from the people what you can ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That doesn't mean you don't ask, but it does mean Allah is your priority. You know that whatever I'm going to get, it's going to come from Allah before it comes from anybody else. Allah might send somebody, and that's the second half. Allah might send somebody to do something. And Allah may test us through somebody. But none of that is happening outside of Allah's knowledge, outside of His decree, outside of His power. So why do you go to then the creation when you can go to the Creator and ask from Him directly? So this is an amazing hadith that, imagine you are a young person and you are hearing this from the tongue of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma did, and you're going to carry this for your whole life. In fact, he transmitted this hadith, and we have it today, showing us the priority we need to have in our minds. That we need to go to Allah. Allah is the one. You know when we say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, there is no might or change of anything or condition except with Allah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no might, no power, no effect causing change except that it is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything else, whether it's a person, whether it's a king, whether it's a beast, whether it's the universe, all of that is is part of Allah's creation, and it's under His ordainment before it has any choice of its own. So don't think that you can bypass Allah by going to anybody. Even if it's the most powerful of Allah's creation, it still is subjugated under him and must follow his command before it's able to do anything else, and it must apply and must conform to his decree, his qadr, before anything else. If I said anything that is good, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. If I say anything bad, it is only from myself and from shaitan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the correct understanding and give the right priority to Him and then to His creation accordingly. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to decree for us what's good for us and to protect us from what is evil. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help all of our brothers and our sisters all throughout the world that are suffering, our brothers and sisters and the innocents that are suffering in Gaza, in the rest of Palestine, in Syria, in Yemen, in Sudan, in Egypt, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Myanmar, in China, in Russia, and all over the world, and in Iran as well. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save and protect the people that are suffering there unnecessarily. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to change the evil leaders of this world, the bad leaders, the foolish leaders, the ones that are not serving in any good way. Replace them with ones that will and will do good, and that will help us as an ummah to come together as one body and unify and spread the right thing around this world, peace and justice, and eliminate the corruption and all of those kinds of things. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the very best in the dunya and in the akhirah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت